and sets a high standard, just like Doug does. He has a high standard for himself in meetings, on the field, and that creates urgency for everyone else when they see him do it that way. So every time he's around, it helps us.
You've had some help from guys who've kind of filled in over the course of the year, but what does it mean to you as the position coach to be able to have those two guys together finally for maybe an extended period of time here at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I can only control what I can control, and Doug and Pepper are great players. So you want great players. We have a lot of great players on this team, and credit to the guys who have stepped up and really taken ownership of everything and been accountable. It's been a great room to work with all year, and obviously adding players that you have at the roster at the beginning of the season is always a good thing because you expect them to be there. So it's exciting, Yeah, love the whole room, and I'm glad we have the guys that we have. I'm really lucky to work with these guys every day.
He's been great for me in a lot of things that we're able to do right now. Goes through him. I feel like he's done a great job as far as handling the communication up front with the defensive line. And again, like each week, it gets better. And the last month or so, he's really accepted that and grew into that. And talk about giving the keys to those guys, and he's worked to get that, to get the keys, so to speak. So really trust him, love the way that he works. He brings a great attitude, very tough kid.
Sorry to come in late, but just how much of a problem is Anthony Richardson?
A big one, about as big as he is. Big dude, speed, smart with the ball in his hands. Does a good job of avoiding sacks because he's so big and because of his arm talent, obviously. And then not just situationally. I mean, they come out in the middle of the game and doing a lot of quarterback runs. So, I mean, you kind of know their game plan. Most of the time you see guys like that, they kind of try to mediate it and keep it to short yardage. But, I mean, he's a part of their offense of what they do. And then you throw Taylor in the mix as well. And, I mean, you really got your hands full. So just doing a good job of making sure that we're all good as far as, whether it's the quarterback run game or the zone read operation that those guys that they use, just making sure that we're all in one accord.
How helpful is it you have a guy like Milton to kind of chase around during the week to prep for this?
It helps. It helps a lot. Joe's been great for us all year, really emulating a lot of what Richardson does. Again, another bigger guy, athletic, and can throw the ball, as far as you can see. So, I'm sure he'll give us a good look for it. A good look for Richardson this week.
There's been a lot of talk this week about what the vibe in the locker room is like after losses this season compared to what it was like when you played. Is there any concern at all that players, they're not okay with losing, but maybe getting too used to it, given what it's been like the last couple of seasons?
You say it one more time, so.
Just, is there any concern at all that maybe the players are they're not okay with losing, but just getting too used to it? Just because there's been a lot of talk about what the vibe was like in the locker room after the game on Sunday, and how that maybe compared to what it was like, when you played, and what the vibe was like after losses.
I guess never want to get used to, saying that, but at the same time, we take it on as coaches as far as, not letting that be the mindset. But at the same time, the leaders and the catalysts of the room continue to push forward and know like it is all about the process. I mean, obviously the execution on Sundays have a key component into doing all of that. But at the same time, like, we got to be able to come in, turn the page and put our head down and dig.
For a lot of these young guys, they're not used to playing football past Thanksgiving unless they were in Alabama and deep in the playoffs. But what's some of the keys you think, especially being a former player at this time of the year, especially knowing that you still have a couple more weeks to go?
We talk about it a lot of time in the spring, and Mayo says it a lot. From day 1 to day 100, we're starting to get closer to that day 100. So the same mindset, same attitude, the same appreciation that you had from the day one from spring and OTAs is the exact same mindset that we got to have now. Knowing that, we're going to go through trials and tribulations and a lot of adversity, but, at the end of the day, it's all about the process. When you wake up and you think about, what kind of player, what kind of man you want to be, what kind of husband, father, like those are the same aspirations and mentalities that you take as you should take as being a professional football player. And, I don't think that that's a question for the locker room. I just think that that's just, more or less just we got to continue to strive and to really dive into the process.
What have you seen from Christian Ellis? You talk to him, he's got such a passion for the game, and, he credits the Patriots for saving his NFL career after getting released. How do you look at a kid like that who comes in every single day, seemingly with a passion and an attitude that you love?
And then, again, those are the guys that you talk about as far as being a catalyst. Ellis might not be the most vocal guy, but whenever you talk about guys who do the things the right way, whether it's him being out early at practice and, going through a walkthrough by himself or staying after practice and wanting to do extra things, those are the things that you want as part of your culture and as part of your locker room. So it's been a big pleasure for me to be on his career journey. Again, very smart dude. He wants to know all the answers. He's got a lot of questions. But those are the guys that you want to have in your locker room. Those are the guys that you want on the field. And I'm very appreciative of having Ellis.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
That's it.
On each play, if you do it, you hope to contain the kid because obviously with the quarterback run game, it creates an extra gap. So you just got to account for those things. But more importantly, he does a good job throwing the ball too. And then on third down, you got to keep him in the pocket from running around. So it's just another athletic quarterback. Seeing more and more of those athletic quarterbacks in the league each week.
How much of a problem is he, though, when you see kind of how his career has evolved?
Yeah, just, again, anytime you play an athletic quarterback, you got to account for him not only throwing the ball like most quarterbacks, but then he can take off at, any given moment and make a big play. It's no different than probably facing, Drake. So we just got to do a good job, do our job, be under control as we rush the quarterback, and then, but we got to affect him also.
How much does that help just going up against Drake and Joe on a daily basis?
Yeah, we really don't get a chance to do that right now because it's, we're preparing for other teams. But Joe definitely does a really good job of giving us those looks and chasing him around is tough. He's a pretty good athlete himself.
Keon White comes in with a lot of expectations, obviously. Off the field, how is he growing this year?
How is Keon growing off the field? Yeah, like when you talk about off the field, I'm with him when he's in the building. The things that he's doing in the building is phenomenal. He's a pro. He comes in, he prepares. I couldn't tell you what he's doing outside of the building. Absolutely.
So I guess maybe more so in terms of, meeting room and stuff like that. How much is he growing kind of as a leader within the building?
Yeah, I just think, year two, I think he's accepted his role and has stepped up. Obviously, there's still hiccups and things we got to improve on, but for the most part, he's done a good job. You ask him to affect the quarterback, he's done that. You ask him to come in and play the run, and he's done that. So he's done his role pretty good. We just, there's still improvement that everybody can make, and it's no different than with him.
Run from right here. I don't really have them all over the field. I do, but I don't. I really got to stop these routes because my help's there, my help's here, or my help is, half field safety. Understanding where my help is and thinking big picture. That's where guys that's the hardest thing from a college player to a pro player, right? Is trying to teach them hey man, this isn't blitz coverage. You don't have them everywhere. You got to have them in certain spots. What routes can he run from right here? Right? It's just that thought process and just trying to eliminate routes based off release. So as he's stemming, right now I can start to eliminate my routes.
Yeah, and then just with the Colts, they have a lot of big receivers over there. So how much of this week is about trying to match, size on size with all those monsters?
There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of, make them deal with us. There's, team defense element of it. It's not just one-on-one blitz coverage all game. That's not what playing team defense is all about. So understanding where our help is, playing to our leverage, and just doing our job. 90% of the defense is just about aligning right and executing the assignment.
And then continuing with the Colts, Alec Pierce has been one of the most productive deep receivers in the league. So I'm curious what you see from him and what's maybe allowed him to be so successful.
Yeah, you saw Pierce's second the second play of the season. My man went 60 yards. It was great. It was a great catch. He's got poise at the top when he's catching the ball. He does a really good job. Unfortunately, couldn't catch that ball in the Detroit game. He caught the exact same pass he caught in the Jacksonville game. Definitely a skilled player vertically and horizontally, right? His over routes are pretty good, his stair step. He's a talented receiver, probably doesn't get enough credit. He definitely does some really good things out on the field.
So Marcus Jones, Marcus is not as big as most of the receivers he covers. So what do you see from him? And also from your standpoint, how to coach him or how to get him better in terms of covering, big size receivers?
Yeah, so big guy, cover, Amari Cooper, his first year. Just try to stay away from the contact and, play to your advantage, right? So I'm a quick guy, small, quick guy, and, I'm just going to stay away from the swipes at the top of the route, stay away from the push-offs, all right? Try to use my closing speed, that play speed we just talked about. And at the end of the day, like, for a corner, it's all about winning, right? You just got to win. And to have that dog mentality to go out there and win. It's me versus you, and I need to win. So that's how you overcome some of those things.
And what does it say about Marcus that against like Garrett Wilson and Jalen Waddle, they made some plays on him early, but in both those matchups, it seemed like he really fought back and kind of came out on top by the end of it.
Yeah, no, proud of his fight. He's got a lot of it. Again, dog mentality. I would say I ask these guys when we're playing man coverage and we know it's going to be a tough matchup, we embrace it. We don't run away from the smoke, we run into it. Like that's what we do. You just got to make it contested. Make them make great plays. If they make great plays, right, tip the hat. Right, good play. I'm going to go get you on the next one.
What changes for your group, if anything at all, when you play a designed quarterback run game and a guy like Anthony Richardson?
Man, you see him running guys over? Yeah. He's running some big guys over, too. Yeah, that was when I saw him hit Branch, and I know Branch is strong, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy can run the ball. Yeah. Plus all the other tape. That was just the first time I've seen him kind of make really good contact on a secondary player. There's a bunch of factors, right? That's what I talked about before, team defense, right? It's got to be everybody, just can't be one guy. And, whether it's coverage, individual effort, defeat and blocks, it's going to take all 11 guys on the field to stop him.
It seemed like last week Christian was shadowing Tyreek Hill when you guys were in the field, and then when you got in your scoring territory, it was Marcus Jones and often someone else. I was wondering, that seemed like a pretty unique wrinkle. What maybe went into that?
That's an excellent observation. But yeah, no, just game planning, kind of looking what they were trying to do and just trying to put my guys in the best spots to get the job done. Unfortunately, we lost the game. It's not good. Bad taste in the mouth for everybody, but excited to get another opportunity versus Indy. Anybody else? Good?
Good.
All right, great. Appreciate it, everybody.